I hope you are getting the value of your time. If you are following, I want to be sure that you are following. Go to the chat section and type 1. If you know you are following, go to the chat section and type 1. And for the members, this meeting is for the, if you know you have someone who has ever seen the business, you need to make sure that they are here. You need to make sure that they are here because, as I've told you, the main reason why, if you are here and you have not yet joined, the main problem, the main issue is not money. The issue is that you haven't fully understood what this business is all about. So for the members, I want to give you 1 minute because I see most of us, we are members here. I want to give you 1 more minute just to go and remind your prospects, to connect. Remind your prospects to connect. Remind your prospects to connect. Let us use 1 minute to remind all our prospects to connect. Just 1 minute to remind all our prospects to connect. Let's remind all our prospects to connect as we continue. Let's remind all our prospects to connect as we continue. Let's remind all our prospects to connect as we continue. Let's remind all our prospects to connect as we continue. Is it my network or it is your network? Because you are not able to hear me very well, because I see some people are saying that their network is not good. Okay. Because where I am, I'm in the heart of the city, so I believe my network is not an issue. So if you have someone who is supposed to be here, you know, as I've already said, if you are already in business, but you are not taking the business serious, one of the reasons, you know, is you haven't understood what the nature of the business we are doing. What you understood was the presentation, just the left and right, you know, you understood that. But when you understand the background of this business, you'll do it with one heart. That's why you see we are doing this. We are passionately doing this. You might wonder, where do we get that driving force? It's because we have fully understood what we are doing. And we have seen many examples of people who are super, like ultra successful from this business. So let's see, make sure that anyone, our prospect or our promising prospects, let us remind them to connect. And then after that, I'm going to be going to another part of another segment of our training, so that we fully understand what this business is all about. Okay, so let us continue. I hope we've done that. So let's continue. Our goal, the main objective of this training is for us to fully understand the nature of the business. That is, that we are doing network marketing, or the nature of the business you are yet to join. So let us see the franchise business and network marketing. Remember, I've already told you about a franchise business. I've already told you that you need over 180 million for you to acquire a franchise. That is just by a name. And every month you have to be paying a certain amount of the money to the franchisor, because they are the ones who they do the training for you, your workers, because you have to keep the standard. If you have workers who are mistreating, the customers, if it is KFC Lilongwe, all the KFC would be people would think that all KFC restaurants, that's how they treat people. So they make sure that the training is uniform. They make sure that everything is the same. You'll get the equal treatment wherever you go. Then we also say that in every 3 years, you find franchises there are franchises that go broke. In almost out of 3 franchises, rather, 1 goes broke. And if you are successful with the franchise, we also say that, it will take you some few years for you to be able to recover your money and you start making profit. So one of the most amazing innovations in how Americans buys and sells what it once was and still it is called franchising. 30 years ago, franchising was a revolutionary new technology, a new and better way to retail goods, food products, and services to the customer. And the people hated it. Resistance, big time. Just like the way you see our business, some of the prospects that you meet, or some of your friends, they are going to resist it. Just like the way franchises were being resisted some years back. Newspapers and magazines shouted bold lines about what a scam and rip-off franchising was. Stories of little old ladies who lost their life savings to some from franchise were everywhere. Even though some very big, well-known Fortune 500 type companies were involved, those companies insisted that their names should not be used in ads or magazine stories, even about their own franchises. There was actually a very strong move to make franchising illegal. Just as the way you are seeing how the ShopRites are working, the Hungry Lions, those of you who are in Zambia, Nando's, the system they are using. Also, 50 years ago, there was a big resistance. There was even a move to make franchising illegal. In fact, franchising actually came within 11 votes of being outlawed by Congress. In USA, it had even to go to the parliament, and members of parliament, they had to vote against or vote for whether franchising should continue operating. And guess what? There were only 11 members of parliament who were supporting franchising. Today, this once shady so-called scam is responsible for over 34% of all retail sales in America. Even in Africa, if you check in all our big cities, most of the things are sold through franchises. Even this Airtel that you are seeing, Airtel, MTN, all those are franchises, because the owner of MTN is not in Zambia. There is someone who bought that franchise and is able to supply the whole of Zambia with MTN. He's the one responsible for sales of MTN in Zambia. But the owner of MTN is not the one in Zambia, So also like the way we have the Yango, there is someone who is owning Yango in Zambia, like the CEO, but he's not the owner of Yango. He also pays a certain amount to the owner of Yango. When I was reading about Yango, I think the owner comes from China or rather Germany or somewhere there. He's not in Africa. So all those are franchise businesses. But you can see that one time people thought it was a scam. franchise sells nearly 800 billion. Is it billion? Yes, 800 billion US dollars worth of goods and services. That's $800 billion. Just think, 11 votes, those members of parliament, 11 of them, 11 votes worth 800 billion today. That comes to 72 billion per vote. No wonder people didn't trust politicians. Franchising was simply a new technology, clearly a revolutionary, very powerful and very successful technology, a new and better method for the distribution and sales of goods and services. Is there a new emerging distribution and sales technology on the horizon that will outperform franchising? Because the way we know how goods are being distributed right now, the best way we think it is what? It is franchising. Like if you enter those supermarkets like the ShopRites and the rest, how they are operating. So they're asking, is there a new emerging distribution and sales technology on the horizon that will outperform franchising? Is there a new next step in the evolution of our free enterprise system? Yes, there is. The new technology of distribution and sales, it is called network marketing. So network marketing, because for you, you just joined, but it is a way of distributing goods and services. So like the way you see we have healthcare products, the nutritional supplements, it is a way of distribution, just like the way you see the way ShopRite does. It goes and buys from the manufacturers and then they sell within their supermarkets. And even more than departmental stores, shopping centers, malls, and franchising that came before network marketing. Network marketing has been resisted. It has been misunderstood. It has been criticized, laughed at, lobbied, and even legislated against. I remember in Uganda, 2019, there is a son of a minister who joined a scam. You know, there is network marketing and scams, because a scam does not offer anything that they don't have goods and services that they give you when you pay your money. So this gentleman borrowed money from his father, who is a minister, and it was a lot of money, close to $1 billion Ugandan money. So he invested in a scam. By that time, that gentleman was also a youth member of parliament. So he invested in a scam. He lost all the money. So he tabled the motion in the parliament, and they listed all the network marketing companies that were operating that time in the country. I remember our company was they said that it is a product-based, it is a product-based pyramid scam. That's what they wrote about it. But again, the people who are writing about it, those must have been lawyers who are not involved in the business that we are doing, who don't have even this information. But besides that, when they analyzed the business deeper, they did what? They left the business, because it is real business. When you come and understand how the business works, forget about the highlights we give in the presentation, because the highlights we give, those highlights in the presentation. But when you understand, like the way I'm teaching you now, you're going to understand that this is a real business. It's a way of distributing the products. Just look at Amway, the granddaddy of all network marketing. Amway is the first network marketing company. Up to now, it is still existing, and it is based in USA. So it started way back in 1934, around there. It is still one of the best network marketing companies in the USA. They tell you that the pioneers, look at Amway, the granddaddy or the grandfather of all network marketing companies. Amway distributors, like the members of Amway, have been mocked, laughed at, blighted since the company burst into the scene over 30 years ago. But today, Amway is a multi-billion-dollar a year company with successful distributors all over the world. Amway moves over $1 billion worth of products each year. Let me also show you what I'm talking about. Let me say the top earner of Amway. So let's see how much does the top earner of Amway. That is the first company. If you check, even here, they are showing you that if you check on Amway, founded by Jay and Richard in 1959. Can you imagine? So they show you that with 2024 revenue of $7.4 billion US dollars, it operates globally, focusing on health, beauty, and home products. So I want to look for the top earner of, and I want us to see how much this person gets. The top earner. The person who makes a lot of money in this, that gentleman, you see, the top earner is called the Yaga Group, founded by late Dexter Yaga. I'm sure those of you who have joined our business, who have attended our presentations, we normally say that when you die, your next of kin will inherit the business. So, for example, you see that Yaga, Dexter Yaga, died long time ago, but he's still earning the money. But let us see here, because I've heard from that Europe, Sandro Cazzato, I've heard from him in some of the trainings. You can imagine he earns 7.4 million annually. So you cannot get all this information anywhere. Even when, like, where they are top MLM or direct selling earners in USA, they're talking about USA. This is where, you know, one of the developed countries, in fact, the superpower, they're showing you that there, the business of network marketing is already established. My point was just to show you, if you've seen, I've told you about Sandro, because Sandro, I've had him in some of the trainings, I've attended his trainings. That gentleman, can you imagine, he makes 7.4 million. That is 7,400,000. If you change it to your currency, you see, that is 13 billion in a year. Whom do you know that earns such amount of money in a year? That's why we are doing this. So wherever you are, just to know, we are just starting. Because if Amway started in 1959, our company, Empowered Consumerism, started in 2006. But here in Africa, we are the ones who are very, very powerful. Because Amway has been in South Africa, but it is not more pronounced. So we are going to wind up from this, the power of passive income. Remember, the reason for this training, if you are here and you haven't joined us, is for you to understand what we are doing. Is for you not to think that, you know, this is just a mere business. This is a very, very big business. If you are already a member, this is a wake-up call for you to make sure that you don't miss trainings, to make sure that you don't miss any event, to make sure that you work hard, because we are sitting on a gold mine. Let us see the power of passive income. This is also known as residual income. Income that continues coming in over and over long after you have finished expending effort and capital. It took to create the source of the income. Shifting into being a business owner, you know, there are 4 ways of from the cash flow quadrant. You can earn as self-employed person, as employed person, but to be a business owner. For you to be a business owner, you need to have 500 people working for you, a minimum of 500 workers. You need to be employing 500 people. So if you have a business outside, but for you to be considered as a business owner, you need to be employing 500 people. That's when you are considered as a business owner. Again, on top of that, you need to be having a system that runs with or without you for you to be considered as a business owner. So how many of us, you know, that you are able to, you have an organization, you have a company where you are employing 500 people plus. So if you have that, then you can call yourself a business owner. But if you know you don't have 500 people working for you, then you are still a self-employed person. But with this business, you can be able, even here in Malawi, we already have people who have a team of over 500 people. So we are saying shifting yourself into being a business owner is a strong step in that direction. You get passive income. Smaller businesses, that is being self-employed, cannot create passive income. Smaller businesses, if you own a restaurant, you earn income only when you prepare and sell a meal. If your business fixes air conditioners, you earn income only when you provide that service. Even high salaried doctors and lawyers, you see, some people like those of the high salaried doctors, if they come for this meeting, they don't take it serious because their minds are already corrupted. But look, even the high salaried doctors, lawyers, some of you are human resource managers, you know, earn money only when they see patients or clients. If no patients or clients require their knowledge and services in a particular week, there is no money coming in that week. What most people need is an avenue to create passive income. Knowing this, Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki teamed up to evaluate the many kinds of business structures that can create passive income, and they published their results in a book called We Want You to Be Rich. So what did they discover? Okay, let me just put my slides like this so that we are able to. So what did they discover? Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki found that that one business model stood out from the rest. Now, who is Donald Trump? I'm sure most of us, we know who Donald Trump is. He's the president of USA. So Donald Trump and one of the renowned entrepreneurs, in fact, the person who has made us understand the business world, Robert Kiyosaki, they started doing a research because they found out that, yes, for you to be rich, you need passive income. But which business can you get passive income? Those of you who have attended our presentations, you know, there are several businesses. You can get into real estates. It will give you passive income, but you need starting capital. If you are in Malawi, a minimum of 10 million for you to do some real estates. You can buy cars, put them on the road. If you are in Zambia, where we have Yango, you can buy cars, you put them on Yango, and then you can get some percentage at the end of the day. Or Uber, or Bolt, those of you who are in Tanzania. Or I think in Nairobi there is Uber. So, Look at other businesses. Franchise, we've already seen you need a lot of capital. For you to get into rentals, you also need a lot of capital. So they evaluated different businesses that can give you passive income. And as they say, one business model stood out. And you know what? They say that this particular business model creates passive income, but it requires relatively little cash investment to start up. It has very low overhead, and it can be operated on a flexible part-time basis until it generates enough cash for the entrepreneur to transition out of his current full-time job. So these two gentlemen, they found out that there is that business model that can give you passive income, but it doesn't require a lot of capital, because for you to join us, if you are in Zambia, you need 7,000 Zambian kwacha. That is not a lot of money. If you are in Malawi, you need 1.3 million. That is not a lot of money. Because they say it requires little capital to start up, it has very low overhead. You don't need to pay rent. Rent is already paid for you. The overhead that is there is maybe transport to go to the office, or your food when you are at the office. That is the only money that you need, and it can be operated on flexible part-time basis, meaning even if you are working, you can still do this. But you are here, you are working. Over the weekend, if there is an event, be present, have friends, so that they come and understand what we are doing, until it generates enough cash for the entrepreneur to transition out of his. So you can do this part-time until the time reaches when you have made some good money and you decide to go full-time. And that business model, these two gentlemen found out that it is called network marketing. So I want to congratulate all of us, because rather most of us who are already part of network marketing. Now, if you are not yet a member, I want to encourage you, take your time to understand what we are doing. Just as I've told you, the main reason why you are not yet part of us, the problem is not money. The problem is that you haven't fully understood what we are doing. Just like the way I say that when the value of a thing is not known, it is not always taken serious. So I want you to take your time, investigate more about the business that we shared with you, so that you don't waste time. You join and we start working. Otherwise, I want to say thank you so much for being here. We're going to be having another session next Thursday, but the Thursday session now, all of you who are here and you've attended our presentation before, I'm talking to people who are not yet members, and you have an unanswered question. You can ask the person who invited you, who showed you the business. But again, if you want that question, you want me to answer your question, so compile your questions. Next Thursday, we are going to be addressing those questions. For the people who have not yet joined, maybe there is a special question that is not yet clear for you. We'll be able to address that question in our next session. So the next session that we are going to have, it is going to be a question and answer session. So if there is that one thing that is holding you back, maybe you thought that our business is like this, maybe it is like this, please bring it up so that it is cleared. Nothing should stop you from joining. Because if you are here, if you know where you encountered us and you attended our presentation, you are the best candidate for this. God has already chosen you. So you can only disqualify yourself, but God has already qualified you. God bless you and enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye-bye.